Hi, in this video, I'll show you how we can use the machine learning model that we just put in the production stage for to use it for inference using batch style. In order to do that, all you need to do is make sure you are in the data science, the machine learning persona. So you click in here and then go to models. And then you'll see the model listed there. We only have one model so far. So Titanic underscore survived model, you click and you see model version 1 is the one at production stage. That's exactly what we have done before. Now, in order to use this model for inference or prediction, in order to do that, you click on use model for inference. So you click here and we describe the three different styles of inference. I'm not going to go through that, but we're going to go to the batch inference. So the batch inference is like you want to do the prediction all at once to the data model. Now, two parameters we need to specify. The first one is the model version. Which version you wanted to choose for the model? There are two things here, production and version 1. Actually, they are the same, but bear in mind, production currently point to version 1. If production point to version 2, you're gonna choose like version 2 implicitly here. The difference between this and this is the way you look up the name. Should you look up by exact version or look up by production, and whichever production at this time points towards will be selected. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep it production. Now, input table. The input table here, you select the table that you wanted to use for inference. Obviously, we don't have this table yet. We don't have a test table. Remember when we downloaded the Kaggle, the dataset from Kaggle, we actually downloaded two files, the test and the train. We used the train file, and this is when the one we built the bronze, silver, and gold layers. We actually haven't used the test at all. This is the time when we're going to use the test file. So in order to do that, I'm going to leave this open here as it is on this page. I'm going to open a new page from Databricks. I'm going to go to data science and engineering, and I'm clicking on data, and then I click create table. We're going to actually create table, the test table. Now, if you remember exactly what we have done before, what we've done before is we created the bronze, silver, and gold out of the training data. We should exactly do the same. And this is to maintain consistency. But however, for simplicity, I'm not gonna, I'm considering that I already have the silver layer table directly. But in real life or in like actual jobs, make sure that your table, the data that you upload to the storage, will go through the same pipeline. For simplicity, I'm going to create the silver table directly. For first, I'm going to upload the file. So let me kind of refresh here to get the new, style. So I'm going to click on table. Like I said, I'm going to click table, create table. You are in this page. So I'm going to upload the test table. Select files is uploaded, and it's uploaded in /file store /table /test.csv. Now I'm going to create with a notebook. This is exactly what we have done before. However, we do it for the test table. And if you remember, in first schema was true, make it true. And row first row is a header, is true as well. I'll leave everything the same. Test and CSV, select. I'm going to save this table. I'm going to call it dataframe.write.format. I'm going to call it delta. And the table name will be saved inside the Titanic dot test. I'm going to call it silver directly. Silver. So this is all pretty much it. I'm going to run it all. This will create, the test table, and this test table will be placed inside the Titanic dataset, and we call it test underscore silver. So we actually have created this now. Now, if you go back to this step, now we have the input table ready. Okay, so, and by the way, in order to make sure, let's select actually the input table, because if you create a new cell in here, and actually let's make it with SQL. So I'm going to select asterisk from Titanic dot test underscore silver. Let's see this table, how it looks like. So you're going to see here, this is the table from the test dataset. One thing you will notice is this dataset doesn't have the survived table, the survived column, which is perfectly makes sense because this is a test. If it has the column survived, it's not a test, maybe it's a training. The test data doesn't have the column that we wanted to predict. This is the column that will be added by the machine learning model as an inference column. This is just something I wanted to highlight. If you go back now to this page here, so we have the batch inference, we have selected the model version. Now let's select the table that we wanted to infer. So I'm going to Titanic. Now I should see my table, the test underscore silver right there. So I'm going to select this one. I'm going to keep this model in display, the notebook. The Databricks will basically generate a new notebook that you can use for the inference. So I'm going to use the model for batch inference. And now the model will be generate this notebook that which we can use. So let's take a look. So this model, this notebook will load this model, which is the model that we have named, the name of the model that we created. We'll load it from the MLflow registry. It will also load all the dependencies that this model dependent on, maybe runtime versions of the libraries. Everything that we've seen in the model artifacts will be loaded in here. And it will load everything and install the conda environments. And then we'll create a data frame out of the input table name. In that case, the input table name is the titanic.test underscore silver. So just loading the table that we wanted to predict. And then, and this is the bit where it's getting excited. So we creating a Spark UDF, user defined function, out of the MLflow model. So basically what MLflow is doing here, it's encapsulate the entire machine learning model into a PySpark function. And then we'll pass all the input tables to this function, row by row. And for each row, it will predict the new column or the survived column. So make sense? It's like encapsulation of the whole machine learning model in one UDF. How we do that? MLflow.python function.spark UDF. Then we create the Spark UDF. And then we just create a new data frame out of this table where we create a new table or a new column called prediction. And this column is the function that we have created. And this function takes all the rows or all the columns of this table. Pretty much a standard. And then we're going to write this table or save it somewhere right here. And we're going to just show the format. So all we need to do is just run this notebook where it will do everything that we expect it to do. It will just load the table, create the Python function, and do the prediction, and will give you all the output that you expect from this machine learning model for the survived database, for the survived dataset. And this is pretty much what the inference, batch inference means. It runs everything all at once. All at once here means we have all the test tables that we already loaded one time, and we just do the prediction all at once using Python function available to the runtime. So this is the output. You can see here we have now the new column added, prediction, right? And so this is the standard input and this is the table. And you can see here, if you want to do quick check, we all know from the Titanic that majority of the females were survival, right? So you can see the ones here survived. It's a female, she survived. Other female survived while the males didn't survive. So yeah, sounds about right. Sounds like it does a good prediction to the our generalization of the model without being too overfit or so the model now have generated and created the column that we expected it to create. And this is what we call the batch inference. We have now a table, the test table that we created, that we loaded without the prediction or the survived column. Then we use the machine learning model to add this column back to this table. And we have done a successful machine learning batch prediction, or we call it batch inference for this model. Like you said, like you see, we haven't, I didn't like literally write anything in a code, like just a few clicks. And this is the power of Databricks. It makes it easy for you to kind of tedious operation of writing inference code, loading models, and things like that. It just makes you focus on the business and how you can, use it in a most effective way. So that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson.